me, Sam, and this is by Hook or by Needles. And for those of you who've been watching for a little while, you may recognize this book, and in particular, you may remember that at the back of this book was a picture that I drew when I was 9, maybe 10. And it is a design that I created at 9 or 10 for a top. No idea what this is, so we'll forget about that. I also did a like a boat necky type one with a squarey neck. Yeah, and then this one's like just a granny square, I assume, with strips that go over to the back. So I thought, time to get started on this. So I looked and looked and looked and looked for some yarn to make this. And what I found, and I don't know if I'm going to have enough, but what I found was some Lion Brand mandala. Now I've got one big ball there, and I've got quite a few scrappy bits. There's another scrappy bit, and I've got a few literally just like tiny scrappy bits. And I thought, well, is that going to be enough yarn? I don't know. No idea. No idea until I made it and completed it and all the rest of it. But I also have some of this yarn, which I don't know what it is. And I thought, well, it's obviously not the same colors, but it is very bright and cheery and colorful, and some of the colors sort of match. The orange is almost match, the blues almost match, or the teal, even the bit of the green almost matches. That bit of green almost matches. So I thought, if I do sort of run out, I can go to this, because I've got a few scrappy pieces of this as well. So this is obviously 100% acrylic. I'm assuming this is 100% acrylic as well. This would have come in one of those mill end bags that we get from Spotlight, which is basically just it can be anything, and there could be stuff wrong with it, and there's probably stuff wrong with this. So I thought I will start making my design from when I was a wee little child. No, I've never been Irish or anything other than a pom, which is English. Anyway, so now you know that I'm just using up all these little scraps. I think we will I will start by redrawing the design, if I can find my notepad. Okay. Right. So first thing we need to do is redesign it. So, or we'll rethink out what we're doing here. So looking at it, it looks like I've put 6 granny squares as a V for the front. I'm assuming that those 6 also occur for the back, which will make it sort of sit on the shoulders. Because of the angle, it will, I'm just sort of thinking, it will more than likely sit on the shoulders. So I may have to include a strap here just to cover a bra strap, or to stop it from slipping down altogether. Unless I go for this design, but I don't really want to go for that design. I really want to do this. So Anyway, so that's what we're going to start with. Then the next question is, what sort of granny square do I want to do? Well, obviously I don't want to do one with lots of holes in it. Not if I want to wear it as a separate top. But then I thought, I'm probably not going to get away with not having some holes. So I may as well go for something with lots of holes. So yeah, so what I was actually thinking is if I start off with this square up here, but make it sort of rounded at the bottom, rather than have it as a complete like square. So rather than have it as like an actual sort of square that goes like that, I might see if I can round it off somehow. Ooh, distant rumblings. Or I did also wonder if I could sort of make it like a teardrop sort of shape, because I quite like that shape. Okay, but just the front was a teardrop, and then the sides could and then the sides might be angled up more and actually go over the shoulder. Or, I should really stick with the original, shouldn't I? Because that's what I said I was going to do. Okay, so let's think of what square we're going to make. I want it to be a fairly solid one, I think. I want it to be, I think this piece here needs to be solid, because it's going to be supporting the whole garment. So we will make this square, and we will have either 3 or 5, depending, I guess, on how big I make the squares. We will need to make these fairly solid, like I say, because they're going to be supporting the rest of the garment. Now, when I was 9, I had no idea how I was going to create the bottom. And since finding this again, I did think what might be fun, because I didn't have any sort of idea over here, I thought what might be fun is if I actually make some sort of big squares here, 2 of those, and like join them with another square, so the centerpiece will come down here, and it'd be like a handkerchief edging. I mean, the square, excuse me, every single time I turn the camera on, my voice goes like this. It goes croggy and horribly, ugh. So yeah, so I thought if I make big sort of, and they can be lacy, because I'm thinking I will use it as a vest type, and it can have like a handkerchief edge base to it with these this V sort of type top, and it would be more like a vest, something that I sort of wear at home. Well, oh dear, sorry, I'm just laughing at how idiotic that sounds. I never leave the home, so of course it's going to be something that I wear about the home. Let me just take a drink of water, because this is driving me nuts already. Whoops. Let's see if that helps. It might help for a few minutes. Yeah, so first things first, what sort of square? Solid square, I think just a solid granny square. Maybe I'll throw in some back posts or front posts, just to sort of make it look a little bit sort of like ribbing, to once again maybe add a little bit of strength to support the weight, because I think I'll probably have to do four bigger squares, because I'm not a petite lass, not in any stretch of the imagination. And then with because of the colors, odd colors I've got, I could do one square in this, and then another square in the Lion brand. So, and have this also maybe alternating. Yeah. I'll make 6, I think, initially. No, 5. Can't count. Make 5 initially, and then see if I need to add another color in the collar area. So that's where I am at. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So let's get started. Now, this is a weight. Oh, no, it's a 3 weight. No, it's not a 3 weight, is it? It is 2. Okay. Let's bring down the light so I can read what I'm reading. 5mm hook and a 3.25mm needle. Well, that just doesn't make sense. If it's a light 3, you need a 4mm hook and a maximum of 4.5mm. Sorry, you need a 4mm needles and a maximum of 4.5mm needle. I feel like I've had this discussion before. Probably have. What am I going to do? What size shall I use? Maybe for the collar, again, because I want this to, it's going to hold the weight of the other yarn. I should go for a smaller hook just to make it a little bit tighter. See, I think these are relatively the same thickness. If anything, this is a little bit thicker, but I think I'll get away with it. It's only a smidge thicker. All right, so let's start with one of my scraps, or one of the scrappy bits. Let's start with a nice bright yellow. And I still haven't decided what hook am I. Maybe if I do a 4, because I am going to be doing, like I say, I am going to be doing this sort of collar bit, and I want that to be strong enough so that it can support the weight of the rest of the garment without hopefully stretching too much. So because it says it's a weight of 3, which is a DK, which is also an 8 ply, I'm going to use a, whoops, oh dear, come on, focus. No, don't focus on those words. Thank you, focus on the hook. Doesn't want to. Here we go. 4mm, oh dear. G. Oh dear. Take my word for it. It's a 4mm G. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm just going to start off with just like a normal granny square. Actually, I'll make the tail longer. Now I'm not going to do a magic ring. I'm going to do the alternative to a magic ring. So I'm going to need a longish, oh, it's probably too long now. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. Join to the first. Pull it through. Work over the tail, because I'm going to use that to draw in the circle. So it does look like a magic ring, but it had the strength of a chain ring. Oh dear, words are escaping me. Okay, so I'm gonna do some double crochets, or also known as trebles in the UK. And I'm gonna start with just, hang on, whoops, one chain. I'm just gonna start with simple 4 clusters. Chain 1, and then rather than finish the round with a slip stitch into the top, you know, into the top of the third chain, which was our first DC, what I'm going to do is actually do a double crochet, a half double crochet, sorry. So that's the 1, 2, 3, and that way I'm sort of in the center, and I can pull it shut as though it was a magic ring, because I've worked over the tail, which I did make too long. Okay, so we do 1, 2, 3. And the way I work this is there's nowhere really to go in to sort of do that first. You can, but it's very tricky to do that first, you know, stitch. Sometimes I used to just do an extra stitch into the corner, which never quite looked right. So what I actually do, which I find looks a little bit tidier, is instead of trying to get into that stitch there, go in just after it. And that's a lot easier. It spaces it a lot better, and you can still put the other 2 double crochets into the other 2. And see what I mean? It doesn't look out of place, I don't think, anyway. And then we're going to put 3. And single crochet. Just going to do a single crochet in the corners, I think. Now I can get into that one, but it's just that first one where the join is. It's very difficult to get into, so I can get into this one. 1, 2, 3. I mean, we all know how to do a granny square. I just got to decide how big I'm going to do this granny square. I've been working with 8mm knitting needles just lately, and very thick, I think it's called super chunky yarn. So it seems quite odd to be going back to this size hook and yarn. There we go. It's cooled down today. We've had rain all night. How do I know? Because I've been awake most of the night. Finally fell asleep, I think, about... I first fell asleep during Fortunate Creations live. Then I woke up again and I fell asleep again. Oh, it's the humidity here that really gets me. Now I've got the fan blowing on low because it is just so humid and horrible. I hope it isn't like too audible in the video. I apologize if it is. Oh, no, and then we do a half double crochet to join. I don't think I did that over enough. That actually doesn't look too good. Oh no, looks okay, I suppose. Looks better than that normally. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And then 2. See how it's very open there, just, you know, on the chain, because this is a chain from the previous round. So you're not going to get sort of anywhere really in before the stitch to go. And that's why I always go into that hole just after the stitch. Now, am I going, actually, let's go back. Am I going to go front loop, back loop, or back loop only? I might go back loop. If you don't like doing back loops, just turn your work and do front loops all the way around instead. You end up with the same result, but it's just a little bit easier to do. Personally, I like. It doesn't bother me. I don't mind. I wouldn't say I love them, but I don't mind back loops. Back posts. Back posts and back posts, not back loops. Don't get people confused. Yep, okay. And then we do our 3. I'll be working on this sporadically because I do have a lot planned coming up for Christmas, the month of December. So there may not be a lot of time to sort of work on this, but I will show you from time to time my progress if I make any. There's probably too many stitches in the corners there. It seems to be flaring a little bit. What I wouldn't have given to have all this type of yarn when I was young, when I was 9. I might have actually made the top when I was 9. Why is that looking so bulky? It is only 3. Maybe I should go to 2. I think I might go to 2. Rewind, rewind. So I'm going to go 2 in the corners. 2 chain 1, 2 DCs. That's what I'm going to do in the corners instead. And then the corners won't look so flared out. So sorry about that. But you know I don't edit, so... This is what you get. warts and all, as Cromwell would have said. I'm waiting for a delivery today. It's funny, it's Sunday. It is actually Sunday the 24th, so I'm actually making this the day that I'm supposed to be posting it. And it's telling me that I've got a delivery today. So we don't get deliveries on a Saturday or a Sunday in Australia. So the fact that they're saying that they're going to deliver something today tells me that they're warming up, gearing up for Christmas, and doing extra deliveries to try and get through the extra postage that will be coming. Which is good news for me because, yeah, I get my subscription for my sock yarn. It should be coming at some stage today. It is Sunday, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, I just sort of better check my calendar on my computer and make sure that I've got the day right. Oh dear, bing bong. Now, I don't know how many rounds I'm going to do. Probably 4 or 5, I would imagine. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to continue with this, but say goodbye for now. Like I say, I'm not going to show you step by step what I make because it's just going to be granny squares basically. If I do change it up at all, I'll let you know. You know, I might do I don't know, maybe I'll do a Bavarian stitch granny square, and maybe I'll do another type of granny square. I'll have to have a look and see what sort of granny squares are out there. So, and I've just seen that Michael has gone live again. That man never sleeps. Okay. All right, people. I'm going to leave it there. Take care. I will catch you next time. Hopefully I will have my sock yarn subscription that I can show you all. Until then, please take care and